19th October 2021 Morning Murli Shanti BapDada Madhuban. Sweet children, the unlimited Father has come to take you children back with him. Therefore, now belong to the Father and follow his Srimad. Question: what elevated directions does the Father give his children in order for them to make their fortune elevated? Answer: sweet children, make as much effort as possible to stay in remembrance before death comes. It is through this that you will earn an income after becoming a child of mine. Don't perform any sinful action even by mistake. No matter how many storms of Maya come, never become impure. Shanti. God Shiv speaks. Your children understand that Shivbaba is explaining to you. You are confluence age and are sitting personally in front of Shivbaba. Those Iron Age people go and sit in the non-loving temples to Shivbaba. You understand the difference, do you not? Open the locks on your intellects a little at least. You understand that you are sitting in front of the living Shivbaba. Baba is conversing with you face to face. Shivbaba is teaching you Raj Yoga through Brahma, whereas on the other hand, human beings are worshipping Shivbaba. They go to Amarnath and Kashi in search of him. Why do you repeatedly forget that you are sitting with Shivbaba, the one who is called the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul? He is praised so much, you call him Baba, Baba. You know you are following Shivbaba's directions and claiming your inheritance of becoming the masters of the world. Those people continue to stumble along to the temples and pilgrimage places, whereas you are claiming your inheritance. Look how much difference there is. Compared to you, they are complete simpletons. Shiv Baba says, I am your obedient servant. I have come to give you the inheritance. They continue to call out to God, the Father. Here, you are sitting personally in front of God, the Father. Thus sits in your intellects while you are here. So, why do you forget it when you go back home? Here, it is the day for you, whereas for those people, it is the night. They continue to cry out, and you are sitting personally in front of him. You say, I sit with you, I listen to you. However, when you get back home, you forget this. Maya is very powerful. After becoming Shivbaba's children, you make effort to change from worshippers to becoming worthy of worship. But then you also go outside and become worshippers. You continue to go to non-living temples of Shivbaba. Here the Father explains, children, it is only by following Srimad that you will become elevated. The main thing is purity. They go to the non-living images and sacrifice themselves at Kashi. You are sitting here in the living form. Here, there is no question of sacrificing yourself at Kashi. Here, it is a matter of dying alive. The Father says, follow Srimad. When you leave here and go outside, you forget the Father. Some never even write a letter to Baba. Others are such that, although they haven't even seen the Father, they continue to write letters to Baba in desperation, whereas those who have personally met him completely forget him. You have to surrender yourselves to Shivbaba. People on the path of devotion used to sacrifice themselves at Kashi in order to meet Shivbaba, but they weren't able to meet him. The Father has now come here in the living form and says, children belong to me. I have come to take you back with me. You cannot go there without becoming pure. I have to come to make you pure. The Father, the bestower of salvation for all, is sitting with you. He is teaching you Raj Yoga that the God of the Gita taught. They have called Krishna God. You know Shivbaba is the God of the Gita. You even write Shivbaba, care of Brahma. The Father sits personally in front of you and explains to you. Even then, you don't feel intoxicated. Oh, Shivbaba has taken us into his lap. He has adopted us. However, he would not keep everyone here. There are thousands of children, and so how could he keep all of them here? There isn't that much space here. The father says you have to live at home and remember the father. You have to become the children of the one who is the sweetest of all, the unlimited father. The father explains, children, you have been burned to death by sitting on the pyre of lust. Now sit on the pyre of knowledge and become deities. People worship deities, but they don't understand anything. Thus is said to be the destiny of the drama. You are sitting in front of the living Shivbaba. It is remembered that Shivbaba established the land of Vishnu through Brahma. The father explains, children, don't perform any sinful actions. Do not become body conscious while walking and moving around. You have to remember your bridegroom, the one you have been remembering for half the cycle. He is now present on your service. He is the spiritual social worker. He is teaching you spiritual service. There are heads of social workers. That one is spiritual, whereas others are those who do physical service for human society. They are now asking everyone to stop slaughtering cows. You can write that to use the sword of lust on one another is the greatest slaughter of all. First of all, put an end to this. It was in regard to this that God said lust is the greatest enemy and it causes you sorrow from its beginning through the middle to the end. You have forgotten the God of the Gita. Baba is really amazed. Firstly, you go stumbling up the mountains to Amarnath because you believe that he told the story of immortality to Parvati up there. What would happen by telling the story to just one Parvati? The father explains, all of you are Parvatis. He is telling all of you the story of immortality. The father says, children, while taking 84 births, you came into the land of death. Acha, where did Lakshmi and Narayan go? Did they go back or did they merge into the light? Where did the Sun dynasty king, queen and subjects all go? While taking 84 births, they must surely have become Tamopradhan from Satopradhan. You understand, do you not, that Shivbaba is sitting here and explaining to you through Brahma. Children, I have now come to create your fortune. So why do you cross out your fortune? Understand a little at least. I have come to make you into the masters of heaven. Will you not follow my directions? Why do you forget to remember me when you go back home? The father repeatedly explains to you, children, you now belong to the confluence age, whereas people belong to the iron age. You became worthy of worship, whereas they are worshippers. Your wandering has now come to an end. Although those people consider you to be atheist, you say that they are atheist. They say you don't do any devotion and this is why you are atheist. You say that they don't know the Father and this is why they are atheist. You say that you are the theist because you know the Father and you claim your inheritance from him. Because they don't know this, they continue to stumble around. So many people go to the Kumbh Mela and make donations and perform charity. The father now says, stop all of those things. You have found the ocean of knowledge. So where else would you go? These are the rivers of knowledge. They bring you to the ocean of knowledge to bathe you in knowledge. So many good children come to the father and return home and become dirty again. Some do follow the father's directions. They ask, Baba, how can I use my perishable wealth in a worthwhile way? It is then explained to them, however much you are able to salvage from a sinking boat, it is good. Use it to serve Bharat in a worthwhile way. Open a center. So many of these pictures continue to be created. Baba had such children who say, Baba, whenever you are in need, remember me. I am ready to help you. If you need anyone to carry out good tasks for the yajna, then remember me. Baba says, I will not remember anyone. You can do whatever you want. I am the bestower. I have come to make Bharat into heaven. You will also go to heaven. Whatever you receive will be according to how much you do. However, the burdens of the sins of many births that are on your heads have to be removed. Otherwise, there will be a lot of punishment for those. You will go to heaven, but if you experience punishment, you won't be able to claim a status. It is remembered God made his treasure store constantly overflowing. He wasn't worried about anything. Baba says the treasure store will become full by itself. Your children have to follow Srimad. Only in this is there benefit for you. Never think that there is a loss in this. For instance, if you are traveling to Delhi and you break your leg on the way, consider there to be benefit in that too. At least the soul hasn't broken. The leg has been broken. But that doesn't matter. I am speaking to your souls. The Father explains this is the kingdom of Ravan, and this is why they burn an effigy of Ravan. What were we and what has Baba now made us from what we were? Look at the condition of the world. The Father is now making you into the masters of heaven. Therefore, you should follow his directions. You mustn't perform any sinful action. While living at home, become pure, simply content to listen to the story of the true Narayan. It is such a long story. Even if you make the whole ocean into ink, there is no end to the knowledge. So, you should follow the Father's directions. You know you are claiming your kingdom by following God's Srimad, and that you are becoming deities from human beings. Death is just ahead of you. Some suddenly have heart failure. Others even die in an accident. The Father says before you die, make a lot of effort while remembering the Father on your income. If you commit a sin after belonging to the unlimited Father, you will receive 100-fold punishment for just that one sin. You would then be ashamed of what people would say. Shivbaba says, I make Dharamraj give you very severe punishment. At that time, he wouldn't say, this is my child. There are very strict rules. If a judge's child commits a crime, he can't do anything. The child has to experience punishment. The Father explains to you every day, children, don't do anything sinful at all. The greatest sin is that of vice. Many storms will come and there is a lot of dirty activity outside. Don't even ask. This is a brothel. For instance, when you explain to an eminent person and he becomes a student, other people would say that the magic of the Brahma Kumaris has been cast on him. Great people even come here and write, you truly are telling the truth. Truly, the God of the Gita is Shiv and not Sri Krishna. However, as soon as they go back home, everything is finished. A lot of effort has to be made. The Father explains, sweetest children, don't forget me. Maya is very powerful. Remembrance of the Father is like quicksilver. You quickly forget him. The Father says you may live at home, but simply remain pure. You have to make effort. The Father tells each child with a lot of love, now after becoming my child, don't perform any sinful action. You now know the Father, do you not? You also have the secrets of the world cycle in your intellects. Scholars, pundits and the masters have themselves called Shiv and have themselves worshipped too. Generally, sannyasis go and live at Haridwar. Throughout the day, they continue to chant Shiv of Kashi is the Lord of the world who brought the Ganges. The Father sits here and explains to you so well. It is remembered that he is the immortal image. It isn't a throne That is the immortal throne. This chariot is the throne of the Father, the immortal image, just as those are your chariots. Baba says, I too have taken this chariot. In the forehead, on one side is the disciple, and on the other side is the Guru. I would definitely come and sit next to him. I too am just a point. I am not that big. Sweetest children, this is your true living pilgrimage of remembrance. Bap and Dada are combined. No one can understand the meaning of Bap and Dada. In telegrams, he signs BapDada. No one can understand this. Shivbaba is your Baba and Prajapita Brahma is your Dada, and so together they are BapDada. The Father says, I have now come to give you your inheritance through this one. Shivbaba belongs to you. Prajapita Brahma too is the father of everyone. You receive your inheritance from Shivbaba. So he would sign in this way. Would he not? We are called BapDada. Shivbaba says constantly remember me alone, and yet this doesn't sit in your intellects. Thousands of people come to the exhibitions. Out of those, perhaps 8 to 10 come to understand more, and out of those there would probably gradually be 1 or 2 remain. It is remembered that there is a handful out of multi-millions. Therefore, you have to have so many exhibitions so that a handful out of multi-millions can emerge. Some come for 4 to 5 years and then disappear. They divorce the father. Acha, to the sweetest, beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance and good morning from the mother, the father, BapDada. The spiritual father says Namaste to the spiritual children. The spiritual children says Namaste and good morning to the spiritual father. Essence for the dharana. First point, surrender yourselves fully to Shivbaba, that is, die alive and follow Srimad. Second point, you have become Shivbaba's children. Therefore, don't perform any sinful actions. Become pure and benefit yourselves. Blessing. May you be merciful and fill all souls with power by becoming a lawmaker as well as a bestower of blessings. Explanation. If a soul has a desire, but because of not having courage, he is not able to achieve what he wants even though he has that desire, then as well as becoming a lawmaker, that is a bestower of knowledge for such a soul, also be merciful and become a bestower of blessings. Give that soul the extra power of your good wishes. However, you can only become such an embodiment of a bestower of blessings when your every thought is surrendered to the Father. Fulfill the promise you made to surrender your every moment, your every thought, and your every action. Slogan. Have the awareness of your true form and you will have the power of truth. Om Shanti